In maths this week and for the next few weeks, we're going to be looking at fractions. In this video, we are going to look at what a fraction is, what we call the different parts of the fractions, and how to write and say them. A fraction is when an object is divided into a number of equal parts, then each part is called a fraction. It's so important when we're looking at fractions, we remember the word equal. In our fraction, we have two parts. We have the numerator, which is the top number, and we have the denominator, which is the bottom number. Our denominator says how many equal parts are in the whole object. So we have our circle that I've split into two equal parts. Therefore, our denominator equals 2. How many equal parts are in this shape? What is the denominator of this fraction? 4, because there are 4 equal parts. We call this fraction a quarter. Can you find the denominators of these fractions? Maybe pause it and have a go. Now can you have a go at drawing what you think these fractions could look like? Remember, they can be any shape, they can be any size, as long as you divide them equally. Here's some that I had a go at. So the number at the bottom tells us how many equal parts there are in our whole fraction, and it's called the denominator. The numerator is our top number. It says how many parts are in the fraction. For example, our square has been split into 2, so our denominator is 2, but 1 part has been coloured in, so our numerator is 1. How many parts are coloured in this shape? What is the numerator of this fraction? 3, because 3 equal parts have been coloured. We call this fraction 3/4. Can you find the numerator for these fractions? And now have a go at drawing what you think these fractions might look like. Remember what our numerator tells us, remember what our denominator tells us. So a quick recap. The numerator tells us how many parts are in our fraction. The denominator tells us how many equal parts there are in our whole shape. Last thing before you go, can you find the fraction of these shapes?